Hello to all my few viewers out there. Hello to all my favorite viewers out there. If you do not know, I'm Andre the Machine. Um, there's a long history that comes with that title. Someone actually suggested that phrase, and then it was pretty catchy, and then I just took it and actually ran with it. And for most of my viewers out there, you know what I do. I'm a fitness coach, among many other hats: counseling, recovery coach, personal trainer, um, and I love to run marathons. Yet I also love to talk to folks about recovery. Um, Recovery is something that um, I've taken on over the course of the past 26 years, having experienced a life of substance use. Um, I'm here to tell you that um, it has been some challenging times. There was a lot of work had to be done in order to get to the place where I'm at now. 26 years later, I can tell you some horror stories, but I will save that into a later date and time. But I did mention to my viewers out there that we will be talking about the 3R series. So I'm going to start this 3R series right here and tonight. I am in San Francisco visiting family on this trip. I'm sort of relaxing, but at the same time, I'm talking to you and just want to give you a quick update on our 3R series, which is actually starting this afternoon, this evening. It depends on where you're at. I'm actually on the West Coast, so it is nighttime here. It may be early in the morning for you, those folks out on the East Coast or Central Time. You may be 2 hours. There may be a 2 hour difference. But again, repetition reinforces recovery. Let's just take this stuff apart. I want to talk to you about this. Repetition, to repeat, to do over again, to repeat, to do over again, right? When you hear that word, repetition, right? The mother of all learning is by way of repetition. And those of us that are in the struggle or in the process of reversing that struggle, the struggle being substance use, know that there are some things that we have to practice day in and day out, right? In order for us to maintain our sobriety, our wellness, our connection to others. And so I'm going to start right out with um, if there's no change, things will remain the same. If there's no change, things will remain the same. And that's why we want to practice, right? Repetition is practice. Repetition is practice. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, do I have to sit in another boring seminar? Do I have to sit in front of another group? I already know what they're talking about. We went over this 1,000 times. The longer you distance yourself from whatever it was that you were doing, the greater likelihood of your success. The greater likelihood of your success. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Repetition is what gets us through and on to the other side. So repeat, to repeat, to continue to repeat and to do things over is, again, practice. So let's look at the other side. I know in my addiction, I did things over and over and over again. I learned how to cook up cocaine to make it freebase. I learned how to take a bag of heroin and dissolve it and use it as a nose drop, so that I can get a rush much quicker. These are the things, and yes, it's going to be graphic. I want you to know just how graphic it's going to be, is because I want you to understand one thing. Repetition, when we reverse that when we use repetition in a positive way, it only reinforces our goal to maintain sober. It reinforces our goal to maintain sober. So when you do find yourself in a place, a detox perhaps, or a residential long-term program, you are going to be doing things over and over and over again. And what you should always take away from that is you want to get good at those things. You want to get good at those things that you're practicing. You want to take those tools, put them in your pocket. If you have to repeat them, if you have to memorize them, which most of the time we don't have to memorize them, right? It's sort of subliminal because you're doing it over and over and over again, the same way you did when you use drugs. It was the same type of practice. We continued to repeat these things over and over and over again. And I'm not going to get into this, but then you built up a tolerance. And then you had to make a few adjustments or a few changes. But guess what? You still did it over and over and over again until you got good at it. This is no different, right? For those of us who want to remain sober, for those of us who want to remain clean, for those of us who wants to get out of that rut, that day in and day out, knowing that that person that we are when we are in our addiction is not us. That is not who you are. And so in order to break that chain, we want to practice positive things, doing them over and over and over again. Many a times I sat in groups. Many a times I know that I'm probably speaking to folks out there on this, that's watching this video, saying to ourselves, I'm not going to do that again because I don't want to put myself in that position, talking about incarceration, being taken, away from family members, being taken away from loved ones, being confined. You said to yourself, I don't like this. I don't want to be confined. I want to be out there in the world making a difference, only to go right back out and do the same thing over and over and over again, right? So now it is time to build up, right, character, to build up strength, to build up repeating the things that is going to maintain our sobriety, that is going to make us successful, that is going to help us with finding out what our purpose is. It may be that you are practicing these things that one day you can regurgitate it, right, and help someone else, right? That is the ideal of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholic Anonymous, right? One addict helping another, finding out what our purpose is. And one of the ways that we do that is that we do practice things that we've been taught. We take that stuff, we use those tools when they're relevant, when we find ourselves in situations where we don't want to go back to doing things over and over again. That only hurts us, doesn't define who we really are. So remember, repetition. If you have to sit in any type of meeting, if you have to be in a place where you're hearing that same information over and over and over again, trust me, there's a reason. 27 months I sat and listened to people, right, like myself, who were no longer using a substance, yet they were on the other side trying to tell me how to practice doing the things that will help keep me from using substances, from practicing bad behavior, from keeping me in touch with family members. And with that being said, we're going to conclude this 3 R's first part of our series, which is repetition. Remember to do things over again, right? To do things over again, to repeat. I say again, to repeat. Thank you. Andre Messine signing off. We will see you for the next part of our series. Stay tuned.